Aries, my magnificent pioneering souls, have you ever felt that explosive, white-hot righteous rage when the very foundation of your trust, your sacred internal code of loyalty, was utterly shattered by a single message or a fleeting glance? There are potent, pivotal moments when your inherent, fire-driven intuition already knows the full, scorching truth, yet your logical, action-oriented mind struggles fiercely to deny it. You've been the one leading the charge, the one sacrificing your energy and your courage, the one extending compassion even when you had to carve it out of your own weary spirit. And all of it was taken advantage of, day after painful day. But here is the greatest shock, the most pivotal realization. It is not merely that they betrayed your trust, but that the truth about to be unveiled will make you realize the very person closest to you, the one you trusted with your fiery heart, has been quietly, skillfully feeding their own darkness with the brilliant, life-giving light that you carried. I need you to sit down right now. Take a deep, grounding breath, a true warrior's breath, and walk with me into this transformative journey. Smash that like button right now to seal your commitment to this truth. And do not leave, because right ahead, we are going to throw open the very first, radiant chapter, the divine gold rush. Aries, my dear friends, have you ever paused in the long, still hours before dawn, taken a breath that felt like the deepest sigh of your soul, and asked yourself, have all those years of fighting, of initiating, of leading and loving until empty ever truly been seen? Have my bold starts, my fearless leaps of faith, and my unwavering effort ever truly been valued? Aries, listen closely. For today, the universe is not just whispering a clear answer, it is roaring it for you. This is not luck. This is liberation. This is the key to a radical, unshakable freedom already etched in the incandescent stars of your destiny. I, too, once thought money was nothing more than cold, functional paper, simply a tool for transactions. But the older I grow, the more I understand that money is pure, condensed energy. It is, as the ancients taught, like water, a flow that represents the current of the divine. If that energy is allowed to flow in its right direction, it doesn't just nourish barren fields, it sustains the very sparks of innovation. It fuels new endeavors, and it brings a foundational, unshakable peace to a family, a business, or an individual soul. But if that life-giving flow is maliciously or carelessly blocked, that vital energy gathers, it swirls, it becomes stagnant, and it consumes the very breath of possibility, leaving us grasping for air in the swift-moving river of life. Aries, you, the true pioneer, have stood many times between these two powerful currents. On one side, the burning thirst for freedom, for action, for absolute independence. On the other, the heavy, suffocating burden of survival and the selfless, often thankless, sacrifice for others. You chose to keep giving, to keep charging forward, even when there was so little left to fuel your own magnificent fire. In the map of the stars, Aries is powerfully guided by Mars, the planet of drive, of courage, of initiation, and of the raw, undeniable will to conquer. This planet carries the energy of the battlefield, the clarity of a newly forged blade, and the heat of unyielding resolve. But remember this profound truth, dear heart. The divine has never forgotten you. God, the cosmos, whatever you call that sacred source, allowed you to walk through those dry, sacrificing seasons so that you would learn the true, unyielding strength of your own patience, a strength often overlooked by the rushing Aries. And now, at the very moment you might have thought your reserves were completely empty, the universe sends the rain. But this rain is not merely water from the sky, it is a blinding, unstoppable stream of blessings. Money, in this context, is flowing toward you not as a sudden, random gift, but as divine testimony. It is the cosmic record stating, I have seen, I have heard. I have faithfully recorded every tear, every silent wound, every brave, solitary step you etched inside your beautiful, blazing heart. I still recall meeting an Aries man, a true leader in his field, in his early 50s. He had poured his entire life force, his career, and his personal dreams into supporting a family business, sacrificing his own name to keep the structure standing. Yet, when his deepest, most primal trust was betrayed, when his love and hard-won expertise were exploited, he was left standing on the scorched earth, nothing but empty hands and eyes burning with disappointment. And then, one profound day, as if an old river had miraculously shifted course, someone he had once mentored and empowered, a connection he had forgotten, sent him a truly significant sum of money, completely unprompted, just when he was near his darkest despair. He did not weep for the money itself. He wept because, in that moment, he knew his silent sacrifices, his relentless, pioneering efforts had never vanished into nothingness. The universe had kept every fragment of the courageous energy he had sown, and it was now returning them to him in a veritable torrent of gold and vindication. This truth whispers to us all that wealth is not only measured in the wallet, but in the relief of a heart no longer chained by fear or doubt. Every dollar you invested, every ounce of sweat you shed in the service of genuine love and loyalty was never truly lost. They were merely waiting for the right cosmic alignment to bloom into a golden harvest of profound peace. Aries, this abundant energy is coming, not just to buy what you lack, but to serve as a constant, thundering reminder that the current of life never, ever turns its back on a soul who has lived in genuine, unafraid love and fought their battles with a noble heart. Now, pause for a moment. Have you, through all these years of charging forward, ever sat alone, staring fiercely at the ceiling, tears falling, but still holding on to the fundamental belief that one day the divine would open the door? Well, my dear friend, this is that very moment. You are now beginning to see the glorious, unmistakable light slipping through the cracks of the dark. Take a breath that fills your lungs with that realization. Close your eyes and place your hand on your chest. Feel the powerful, untamed rhythm of your heart beating like a sacred drum in the night. It is not just blood flowing, it is testimony. It is proof that you are still alive, still intensely loved, still divinely protected. But Aries, remember this pivotal truth. Money is only one component of the blessing. This abundance is a gift to help you walk lighter, to empower your next bold move, but it is not the whole story. Because a far deeper truth is about to unfold, a secret that the one closest to you may have cleverly hidden for far too long. And when it is finally revealed, you will find yourself standing at the glorious threshold of an awakening from which there is no possible return. Now, have you ever been face to face with someone close, hearing them speak tender, soothing words, yet deep inside your heart, a small, stubborn voice of fire whispered, "This is a lie. This is not the truth"? Have there been times, Aries, when just by looking into their eyes, you sensed something vague, a deep, seismic fracture without a name, but you forced yourself into silence? You forced yourself to believe one more time for the sake of peace, for the sake of the status quo. Aries, the woman closest to you, whether she is a friend, a sister, or a family member, is the one holding the core to unveiling this hidden, necessary truth. And the shock, when it lands, will not just wound you because of the simple act of betrayal, it will profoundly shake your fundamental trust in your own brilliant heart and your inherent judgment. Before we dive into the painful but necessary truth, I want you to make two sacred commitments. First, comment below right now and tell me, "My fire is unstoppable." Let the universe see your commitment to your own power. Second, if you haven't already, subscribe to Astrology Unlocked. Hit that bell so you never miss another piece of guidance tailored specifically to fuel your warrior's journey. I once believed that betrayal was only a scratch, something that time and a fierce Aries charge could easily heal. But then I witnessed souls, beautiful, magnificent Aries souls, caught in the devastating cycle of their raw, honest energy being exploited. They gave their all, they carried the weight, they trusted absolutely. And that very precious generosity, that inherent Aries belief in the good, was twisted into a finely sharpened blade and turned against them, cutting their hearts piece by piece. The cruelest, most piercing truth is not that the other person was false, but that they knew exactly how to exploit your Aries tenderness, your capacity for boundless action, and your innate pride as a leader. They used those beautiful traits as a cunning rope to bind you, to keep you performing on their stage. In astrology, Aries is the very first sign. You are the pioneer, the burst of light, the cosmic spark that ignites the entire zodiac. You see the path, you see the opportunity, and because of this, at times, you may be too quick to believe in the plays staged before you. Mars, your ruling planet, demands action, but it also gives you a searingly clear vision. The challenge is that sometimes your speed of action overrides the quiet wisdom of your gut instinct. But listen to me, the divine is never hazy. It sees with perfect clarity, it knows all, and it gives you, the mighty Aries, an explosive, non-negotiable intuition as a doorway of escape. That sudden physical tightening in your chest, that white-hot no that erupts when someone's name echoes in your heart, is not imagination. It is the sacred alarm bell of your warrior soul awakening. I remember the case of an Aries friend who was a powerhouse businesswoman, but suffered deeply from a lifelong friend. Whenever the friend needed help, she would call, sobbing, pleading, a master manipulator of emotion. And the Aries would drop everything, her meetings, her momentum, her focus, to rush to her side. But when the Aries was vulnerable, when she was truly weak and needed support, the friend vanished, leaving only a heavy, deafening emptiness. This went on until the day the Aries, in a moment of pure, decisive Aries action, discovered the malicious whispers behind her back, the vile fabrications sewn into others' ears by the very person she had trusted with her vulnerabilities. She never screamed. She never expected the Aries to be so absolute. There were no arguments, no chaotic accusations, just a cold, quiet disappearance, a severance so clean, so final, like a surgical cut, leaving the betrayer stranded in a shocking, sudden loneliness. What is the profound, powerful lesson here? Betrayal always, eventually, reveals itself. You do not need to scream, Aries. You do not need to spend your precious energy to prove a thing. The missing pieces, the illogical gaps in their hurried words, the gestures that were too rehearsed, these are the truth, rising like lava to the surface. And once Aries lets their powerful, non-negotiable intuition lead, you will see who truly loves and who only plays a role to bind your dynamic, fearless heart. The divine never allows a falsehood to live forever. It will ensure you see the truth, not to wound you, but so that your heart may finally be free to charge forward again. Perhaps you too have tasted the deepest pain, not because they left, but because you realize they had so skillfully deceived you for so long. That cruelty, that exploitation, is not a violent storm outside. It is a sweet, precise cut that almost made you believe you were the one at fault for being too trusting, too available, too generous with your fire. But Aries, let me tell you this truth now. You were never wrong. Your kindness is not a weakness. It is a magnificent strength. Your generosity is not a burden. It only proves you are a rare, unstoppable soul who loves, fights, and gives without end. Breathe in deeply, my warrior soul, and exhale as if you are releasing the final vestiges of 1,000 old wounds. Allow your heart to be freed from the invisible, cunning ropes someone so skillfully wove around your spirit. Because the moment you choose that final, decisive silence and release, you do not just reclaim your freedom, you throw wide the door for breathtaking miracles to enter your life. But Aries, this truth, this exposure of pain, is only the beginning. For after the necessary unveiling, a powerful, sacred gift from the divine is drawing near. It will touch your soul, showing you that every tear you shed, every battle you fought alone, carries an immeasurable worth. Stay with me, for this journey still holds a radiant, life-altering doorway ahead. Dear Aries, have you ever asked yourself, after all the betrayals, after the doors closed, leaving you standing alone in the dark, is there still goodness, still glory, waiting ahead for me? Aries, listen closely, for this is the whisper the universe has long cradled for you. Miracles always arrive, though not in the passive way you may have been taught to imagine. For the Aries soul, they are not loud, not dazzling at once. They come like a soft yet undeniable new scent, a fresh vision, a new plan, a new battlefield, opening the creative window of your soul, like the very first explosive light after a long, dark night. I once thought pain left only ruins, only ashes. But the further I walked on this sacred path, the more clearly I saw that the divine never lets your tears fall in vain. For the Aries, who is a fire sign, the betrayal and loss you endured become the very soil of your phoenix nest. And from that scorched, prepared ground, the flowers of blessing, the blueprints of your next great endeavor, unexpectedly and swiftly rise. The universe moves in a profound, intentional circle. The losses you endure, the projects that failed, the relationships that collapsed, become the fertile soil. And from that ground, the highest blessings unexpectedly rise. I recall an Aries woman who, after being betrayed by her own business partner, lost all faith in her own entrepreneurial instincts. She fell into a depth of self-doubt, believing she could never rise again, never trust her own judgment. But one brilliant morning, she woke with an idea, a clear, detailed, non-negotiable vision for a completely new, innovative business. Something she had never even considered before. She didn't receive a payment, she received a new mission. Her friend had betrayed her by stealing money, but the universe returned it in the form of an intellectual windfall, a new creative fire that was entirely her own and far more profitable than the first venture. She wept, but those were tears of release. She understood then. The divine had seen all the initiative she had given, and it returned it in a way her heart could never predict, as a new, unassailable path forward. And what is the lesson for you, mighty Aries? Miracles never come from desperate pleading, but from the fierce purity of your intention and the boundless courage you quietly sow. Money, explosive opportunities, or an unexpected hand reaching out, these are simply the languages of the universe. The divine's whisper that thunders, "I am here. I have never left you. I have simply been preparing the next grander stage." Betrayal cannot steal your light. It is merely a thin, annoying veil of dust. And when the winds of Mars rise, you will see how brilliantly, how undeniably your light shines for your next chapter. Have you ever thought that the good you have done vanished into nothingness, or blamed yourself for being too bold, too naive in giving your absolute trust? If so, let this truth remind you. No ray of true, pioneering love ever disappears. It only slumbers until one day the divine awakens it, and it returns to you, multiplied 1,000-fold. Relax your shoulders, breathe in deeply, and exhale as though you are releasing 1,000 old, stagnant doubts. Feel your heart trembling gently like sacred music, the sound of the cosmos announcing a miracle is coming. But Aries, the miracle is only the beginning. Beyond it lies a silent, unshakable judgment. And that is the truth that will make your betrayer's heart tremble. In the next part, Silent Justice, you will see the universe return everything to its rightful place. Before stepping forward, write this as a ritual for your soul, a decree to the universe. I believe my courage has paved the path for miracles. Aries, my friends, have you ever wondered, what does true cosmic justice look like for a soul as fierce as yours? Is it a thunderclap? Is it a public, agonizing judgment in front of the crowd? Or does justice sometimes arrive in a terrifying, absolute silence, like a forest fire suddenly withdrawing its heat, leaving only the cold, shocking stillness that reveals every flaw, every footprint, and every secret someone once tried desperately to conceal? Aries, the justice that is meant for you is coming, but it will not be loud. It is the silence given by the universe, forcing the one who betrayed you to face the sudden, agonizing emptiness they created by losing the brightest flame in their life. I once thought that fairness required me to speak on my own behalf, to launch a counterattack, but then I realized that what the divine does always surpasses human calculation. It does not need you to shout, nor to prove anything, for it has seen it all, recorded it all. The cracks in your heart, the tears you wiped away alone in the night, the sheer strength it took for you to not burn their world down. In astrology, Aries is the beginning, the first principle. You are the necessary start. Mars, the planet of divine conflict, teaches you this profound lesson. Your silence, your absolute detachment, itself becomes the verdict. When you stop speaking, stop explaining, stop giving your precious energy, that is when the universe decisively answers for you. I remember an Aries woman who was a whirlwind of energy and ideas. When her longtime partner betrayed her, she did not argue. She did not create chaos or a loud scene. She only kept a cold, absolute silence and then vanished from his life. At first, everyone thought it was shock or weakness, but a year later, that very silence had become a devastating void, a wall that left the man in a house full of unbearable emptiness. No laughter, no projects, no shared vision, no comforting fire, only silence, a sentence heavier than any scolding. And he crumbled, not because anyone condemned him, but because of the terrifying loneliness he had meticulously crafted for himself. Remember this, Aries, justice does not need the sound of war drums nor a guard to defend it. It rises from within. It comes from a truth you never have to speak, yet everyone, especially the guilty party, feels to their core. Aries, your heart does not need to seek revenge. For every step you take farther away, every cold, unwavering silence you choose to hold becomes a constant, burning reminder that your love and sincerity could not be manipulated or purchased. The divine never allows betrayal to pass without consequence. It only places a quiet, unblinking mirror before the betrayer, so they are left to face the truest, ugliest image of themselves, the image of someone who actively pushed away the best, most magnetic force they ever knew. The most painful loss for those who exploited you is not losing your help, but losing your magnetic presence, losing the embrace that comforted them, losing the fiery eyes that truly saw them, losing the hand always ready to lead them into the next great thing. Your silence, Aries, is the greatest punishment of all. Have you ever chosen silence, not because you did not know the truth, but because you knew it too well? And in those moments, did you feel a fragile, absolute peace, like a river ceasing its roar and returning to its gentle but unstoppable flow? Close your eyes for a sacred moment and listen to the silence within your heart. It is not emptiness, my friend, but the powerful, confident whisper of the divine saying, Let me handle the rest. All you need to do is keep your magnificent light burning. Aries, justice is near, but do not think of this as an ending. For behind this silence, another door is opening. A door where your intuition becomes a laser-focused compass, where you learn to read the signs the divine and the cosmos have been sending all along. Do not walk away, because the next chapter, Signs and Instincts, will show you that you are never, ever truly alone. Before moving forward, as a ritual for your soul, write in the comments, "I choose silence and let the universe speak for me." Let this prayer be the key that unlocks absolute freedom within your heart. Aries, do you remember those times your heart suddenly seized up, as if someone whispered a warning in your ear? Perhaps you were charging through your day, hands on the wheel of life, when a vague, non-negotiable unease arose inside, screaming, "Something isn't right." You looked at your phone, saw a familiar name, but your hand froze, hesitating fiercely before pressing the answer button. Your warrior heart already knew the answer, though your logical, action-oriented mind tried desperately to deny it. The profound truth is this: you do not need proof, evidence, or a formal confession to know who is sincere and who is false. The Aries heart, that magnificent honest core, is itself the sacred, life-saving compass the divine placed in your hands. I once thought intuition was merely illusion, just oversensitivity. But the more battles I endured, the clearer it became. Those split-second feelings were often far more accurate and more vital than any exhaustive logical explanation. In astrology, Mars, the planet of drive, is the very fire flowing through the Aries soul. It grants you the instinct of the general, a primal, non-negotiable gut sense to see what others conceal, to hear what others overlook. And the divine says, "Whoever has ears, let them hear." Aries, you are one of the few souls who can hear that call above the din. I remember an Aries man, a successful business leader in his 60s, who once shared this wisdom with me. As he sat on his porch, reviewing his day, a sudden, powerful worry arose about his business partner. No email, no immediate cause, just a clear, cold sense that something was structurally wrong. Hours later, an audit revealed his partner had been systematically undermining the company. The old man simply smiled, gently walked into his office, and said, "I already knew. You don't need to explain anything. The deal is over." His intuition was like the divine's invisible hand, touching the deepest fracture of a breaking contract, a breaking relationship. Aries, do not doubt your intuition. It is not vagueness, it is the focused, direct current of the universe flowing within you. It is the divine's whisper, the sign you need to discern who is worthy to stay by your side and who is merely using your flame for their own warmth. Every shiver, every strange dream, every gaze that unsettles you, all are lighthouses in the dark. All you need is to pause just long enough to listen and to trust that first, white-hot instinct. Have you known those agonizing moments when you felt something wrong, but you soothed yourself by saying, "I'm just being too reactive, too sensitive"? You silenced your soul, Aries, just to keep an unworthy bond intact. But now, you are grown enough, you are wise enough to know that intuition is not an enemy, but an essential companion. It is the voice the divine placed inside you to bar you from the spirals of unnecessary pain. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Let your heart speak above mere reason. Let stillness open your inner ears so you may hear more clearly the powerful signals the universe is sending. Perhaps even now, your body already knows the answer, waiting only for your courage to finally trust it. Aries, this is your inborn gift, knowing before others confess, hearing before they speak, sensing before the full truth unfolds. And this magnificent gift will lead you out of illusions and back into the radiant light of your own authentic self. But do you know, beyond the signs and intuition, the final truth that touches your soul is rebirth. A new chapter, a new life, a new clean slate awaits. The next chapter, the final birth, carries the ultimate promise that betrayal is only the necessary darkness before a blinding dawn. Before stepping on, as a ritual for your soul, write in the comments, "I choose to trust the intuition the divine placed in my heart." Let those words become the torch that brilliantly lights your path. Aries, my dear friend, have you ever felt so utterly broken that you thought there was no possible way back? Were there nights where you lay silent in the dark, believing the betrayal was the end, that your heart would forever bear unhealed cracks? Let me whisper a powerful truth to you now. The truth may hurt, but it does not come to kill you. It comes to give birth to you anew. I once believed that loss meant a final ending. But then I witnessed many Aries souls, after betrayal, sitting in solitude, not to wallow, but to fiercely gather the shards of their identity. They did not seek revenge. They did not hold on to blame. They simply stayed silent, wept the necessary tears, and then, step by deliberate, powerful step, rose again. And at the exact moment they thought they had lost everything, a new strength, a new resilience appeared, the unstoppable strength of the rebirth. In astrology, Aries is the final sign of the old year, but the first sign of the new zodiac cycle. This does not mean a mere ending. It means a dissolving of the old structure that makes way for an explosive new beginning. Mars teaches you that the death of an illusion is only the necessary birth of a brighter, more honest truth. And the divine, it has never abandoned you. It lets you walk through the night so you may truly see that dawn only holds its magnificent meaning after the absolute darkness. It takes away what is utterly unworthy to give you what truly and magnificently belongs to your soul. I remember an Aries woman in her 50s, deceived by her own sister, stripped of money and even her emotional security. Everyone thought she would collapse, that her fire would be permanently extinguished. Yet years later, I met her again. She had completely relocated, opened a vibrant, new age fitness studio, a place of pure, positive energy, and her life was entirely her own design. She woke with the sun, taught her classes with passion, and poured every ounce of her remaining fire into building a structure that was unassailable and authentic. Her eyes no longer carried the exhaustion of tears, but glowed as if every old wound had become powerful, invisible wings lifting her higher. She smiled, and her face was illuminated with a fierce peace. She said, "The day they betrayed me, I thought I had died. But it turned out that was the day I was finally, truly born again." What is the ultimate lesson here, Aries? Betrayal is not the end. It is the invisible sacred hand of the universe placing a powerful, necessary semicolon. It signals that you must continue your story, but in a completely different, uncompromised chapter. When you learn to let go, to listen to your general's instinct, and to trust the fire the divine placed in your heart, that is when you enter the magnificent season of rebirth. You are no longer a struggling soul, tossed by currents. You have become the boundless, unyielding force, the living, breathing fire, where every action you take is aligned with the pure rhythm of your heart. What makes you happiest is not watching the betrayer fall, but realizing, with a profound, exhilarating clarity, that you no longer need them to live, to breathe, to feel completely whole. True joy is when you stand in the morning light, take a deep, powerful breath, and know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you are free. You are no longer bound by insidious lies, no longer caged by destructive old cycles. You have returned to yourself, stronger, brighter, and freer than ever before. Do you feel that rising in your chest? A strange, absolute joy, as if at last you've set down the unimaginably heavy pack you carried for far too long. Do you sense that each scar is no longer a burden, but now blooms like a badge of honor along your magnificent new path? Pause a moment. Inhale deeply, exhale softly, and hear your heart beating in a new, unshakable peace. It is no longer the rhythm of a wounded soul, but the steady, triumphant beat of a soul reborn. Aries, here is the final, glorious promise meant for you. Betrayal will remain behind you. Money and miracles will come to you. Justice has been sown by your courage and silence, and now you step into a new chapter. The chapter of absolute freedom, of undiluted light, and of a faith reborn. Before we close this incredible journey today, as a final ritual for your soul, write in the comments, "I choose to trust my own heart, and I am reborn in the light." Seal your choice with a like and share this video as if you are passing a sacred, life-giving candle to someone who is still lost in the dark. Thank you, Aries, for listening to this journey with your whole, courageous heart. May you, after the storms, find peace, fullness, and the unextinguishable light of your own being. Always believe that the divine and the universe have never left you, that every single tear you have shed has already planted the seeds of a new, magnificent blossoming season.